Hi everyone, my name's Doug Ashlock, affiliated with Liberty University, and today I'll be talking about the Garmin GNS430 for my GPS presentation. The Garmin 430 key features are integrated communications and navigation frequencies with standby, GPS navigation, as well as included WAS or the ability to be upgraded with WAS. The Garmin 430 simulator is available for download off of the Garmin website listed at the bottom of this slide. The Garmin 430 is the epitome of a modern GPS, but it is the forerunner in my opinion. The information that it allows you to access is available through its user interface, which I will explain some of these to you. Some of them are self-explanatory, like the COM volume or the nav volume. However, some of the other ones are not as transparent. So the COM volume that I mentioned also is the manual squelch button, which you use to push to allow you to adjust your squelch manually. Next, we have the data card slots for your obstacle and navigation database. Automatic light sensor for the unit to adjust the dimness or the brightness accordingly. COM and nav flip-flop buttons. These will toggle the active and standby frequencies for the COM and navigation frequency fields respectively. The information display, depending on which information page you have selected, different information will be displayed in this area. Right now it looks like they have a very high range of the US and their weather overlay. To adjust the range, you will zoom in and out with the range. The down zooms closer to the ground and the up takes you higher up to a higher view. The GPS function keys, pretty standard. The direct to, menu, clear, and enter functions, all functions similar to a regular GPS. The menu function though has different pieces of information depending on which specific information page you're on. The 3-function knob in this case is for navigating your information page groups and the information pages themselves. So here we have the navigation page group. So to change the navigation page group, you change the larger knob. So the big knob, you spin it right, and it'll rotate through the information page groups. If you were to spin it all the way right, you would land on the nearest information page group with the nearest airports and the frequencies associated with those. The little knob changes the pages within the information page group. In this case, we are on the second information page of the nav information page group. Spinning the little knob would allow you to transition through each one of those information pages. Pushing the knob activates its third function, which is activating the cursor. Then you can use the large and small knobs to go up and down, left and right with the cursor to select a specific item on the map that you want to look at. The function card keys, CDI, OBS message, flight plan, and procedure. The CDI changes the course guidance for your VOR indicator. In this case right now it's set up as GPS. If you were to push it, it would transition into VLOC mode. The OBS key turns the OBS indicator on, and it also functions as a suspend key in certain functions. The message key activates the messages box whenever there is a piece of information flashing there, such as to change your heading. Flight plan opens up the flight plan information page group, and then the procedures opens up the procedures for any given airport that you have selected, or while you're in that page you can select an airport. GPS mode indication, right now it's en route. It could also be terminal or approach mode. This 3-function knob is responsible for changing the frequencies. The large knob changes the standby box large numbers, and the little knob changes the standby box little numbers. To transition between communications and navigation, you will push the third function of the 3-function knob, which will move this white box to the navigation, and then you'll be able to twist the knob to change the frequency. Once you have the frequency selected, you use your flip-flop knobs appropriately. The good thing about knowing how to use a Garmin 430 is it'll open up a host of options for you as far as being able to operate other Garmin products, such as the Garmin 400. As you'll notice, it's just a GPS unit. It does not have a 3-function knob or any of the communications equipment such as the volume knob or the flip-flop knobs as well. You'll notice that the format is also different. It has data boxes rather than communication frequency boxes because it doesn't have any communications or navigation radios. As such, since it doesn't have that kind of guidance, such as to get a CDI, they replaced the CDI button with a nearest button. So instead of having to use the knob to rotate all the way over to that page group, you can just push the nearest button and it'll activate the nearest information page group. The GNS420 is a step between the Garmin 400 and the Garmin 430. It has GPS and communication, but no navigation. Some of the things, such as the 400, it also has a nearest button because it does not have communication, or correction, it doesn't have navigation frequencies, so it won't have navigation flip-flop. And the knob here, even though it's the same knob, the third function is not programmed, it's disabled. So the big knob changes the big number of the communications frequency, and the little knob changes the communications little frequency. But if you were to press it, it wouldn't flip-flop because it doesn't have that feature installed. But everything else will function very similarly. The Garmin 530 is almost identical. One of the key differences is it has a little bit larger screen. It is a touch screen. The buttons are oriented a little different, but the buttons are all the same there, except for on the bottom they have a 6th button, which is the VNav profile button. So it actually gives you that access without having to navigate through the pages. One benefit of having WAS installed on your Garmin 430 is whenever it's time to comply with the ADS-B 2020 mandate, you can use your Garmin 430 as your WAS source when you upgrade your transponder and say goodbye to the old rusty one. As always, please be sure to consult your user's manual and pilot's guide prior to use of any new or unfamiliar unit. Thank you for your time, and thanks for watching my presentation.